Episode 100. Who would have thought? Thank you, each and every one of you, for watching, listening, sharing, subscribing, liking, all of the above. I mean, without you guys, there's no way I'd be doing this full time. I often think to myself that there isn't anything else I'd rather be doing than this. So yeah, it does feel like a perfect job, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a job. So again, I just got to thank each and every one of you guys for watching our content. Our sponsors, Pizza Hut, Jeddah, and Tim Hortons. Thank you so much for believing in us and supporting us. This episode is a big one and definitely worthy of it being episode 100. So thank you for giving me the next hour and 38 minutes of your time. I'm sure it won't disappoint. And here's to the next 100 episodes. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so very much. Enjoy.
The essence of Saudi Arabia, defined by its landscapes, its environment, its nature, the majesty of our flag, the prosperity of our future, and the strength of our palms. The surging waves, the height of our skies, and the vastness of our seas, the expanse of our deserts, the radiance of the present, and the permanence of our history, a canvas crafted by our land, upon the sky of the world. Saudia, this is how we fly.
I worked in Toyota. I was actually the first non-Japanese, officially, the non-Japanese to work in their domestic marketing division, which was the domestic Kaizen division. I was like a guinea pig. They wanted to try me out and see if it worked, you know, to have like somebody international kind of integrate internally.
Have you noticed that with yourself that you have managed to get happier with age? But something that you feel you need to have this if you want to be successful in life?
Successful in life? Well, I don't know if you're talking to the right person. I think patience is important. I think perseverance is important. You know, just not giving up, you know, I think that's very important.
What stresses you? What pisses you off?
I'm like, I can't feel worse than I feel today, you know. And that was a huge wake-up call for me.
I don't know if people know this, but before I introduce you, Hassan was generous and kind enough to give me my first internship at the great Abdul Latif Jameel company in Saudi Arabia. They're one of the oldest, most storied companies here in the country. They franchisees, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, of Toyota and Lexus, amongst many other things. I worked for about a month under Hassan, and every day, I haven't told you this, I'll say it now on record 20 years later, every day you used to come to me and say, Mohammed, how are things going? Are you happy? Do you need anything? I didn't forget that. You probably did because you had God knows how much on your plate. But I didn't forget that. So right off the bat, I want to thank you for paying attention to me at the time when you had so much going on in your life.
It's my pleasure. I did remember you worked with us, and I remember the first time we met, or the first time you joined, we went to a service workshop, I think, right, in Medina Road.
We did.
And I was showing you, and I think you looked a little bit in shock, you know, at the first. But well, what year was that?
That was year 2006.
2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So coming up to 20 years, actually, it's 18 years.
Yeah. Well, how was your experience at that month?
My experience was that I was so impressed and shocked that, first of all, it was outside of the city. It was about 45 minutes out of the city. But when I arrived into the building and I walked in, it looked like I was on a Wall Street trading floor, because there were no offices. It wasn't even cubicles. It was 70 or 80 people in one big room. And that just, I did a bit of research on it, and then I found out it was the way the Japanese do it.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So let me tell those who don't know who you are, what you do and what you're up to. Hassan Jameel is a businessman and entrepreneur, deputy president and vice chairman of Abdul Latif Jameel company here in Saudi Arabia. Again, one of the oldest, most storied companies that we have in the kingdom. As the episode unfolds, you'll get to know a lot more about what these guys do, because it's a lot, and I don't know how long this episode's going to go, but I think when it's said and done, probably not long enough. Again, thank you, Hassan, for agreeing. My pleasure. Super honored.
It's my honor. Thank you.
I want to start right off by asking you, what does a typical day look like for you? I want to know what you have.
Yeah.
I want to know how you like your eggs.
Yeah.
Walk me through your daily routine.
So again, thank you very much for having me. It's my first podcast in my life. It's my first, actually call it an interview. So honor. Typical day for me. I'm a early riser, and I sleep quite early as well. I love my routine. I'm very routine oriented. So wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, and normally it's either a run or a workout. I love running as well. I've done one marathon and almost done one because I got injured. I couldn't do another. But I'll hit the gym first thing in the morning, get everything done by 7:30, and by 8:30ish, I'll be on my desk starting to work.
5 days a week you do this? Do you take the weekends off?
Yeah, I'll take a day off maybe from a workout early in the morning, but yeah, generally almost daily if I'm not traveling. And then the rest of the day is just work, and that's as exciting as it gets. It's just whether it's today calls or meetings, but it starts from 8-9 a.m. in the morning until later in the evening.
Do you enjoy that routine when you're home, or because I know you do a lot of traveling?
Yeah.
Does the traveling get in the way of your routine, or do you welcome it?
No, the traveling does get in the way. Traveling, it's funny. After COVID, I said to myself, actually during COVID, I said, I am never ever going back to the travel schedule that I used to have. It was very, very disruptive, very disorganized, took away all my routines. But here I am saying to you, it's actually gotten worse, than it used to be before. So actually travel doesn't help with the routines, especially when it's, long trips, all the way to the east or all the way to the west, whether it's to Japan or whether it's to the US. It's very difficult to keep that routine. So I try to limit travel, but unfortunately sometimes you just can't do that. And when I'm not traveling, so I'm in Saudi this week and next week in Riyadh, I have this wonderful routine where I try to wake up early. I try to have a healthy is my new thing now, healthy lifestyle basically, both physical and well-being. And then sleep, have an early sleep, early night.
You didn't tell me what you have for breakfast.
I don't have breakfast actually. I'm into the intermittent fasting movement, so I'm not a breakfast. I'm generally eating one meal a day.
That works. I've seen people drop mad weight 18 hours fast.
I haven't really dropped weight. It was just more the health benefits that I've read about. When you fast, subhanAllah, people have been fasting for thousands of years. There are cellular benefits. I don't know whether you've heard of autophagy.
I haven't.
Autophagy is when you fast for a certain period of time and the cell starts to detoxify itself. So it's not just about losing weight, but it's about cleansing your system as well. And that's been proven. And actually the guy who found that out, who discovered that, is a Japanese Nobel winner. He won the Nobel Prize because he discovered autophagy, which is triggered by fasting.
It would be Japanese who figures that out.
I mean, they're smart guys.
We're going to get into it in a second. And that's something that you've been doing for a while now?
I've been doing for a couple of years now, yeah.
During fasting, I always feel sharpest just before breakfast.
Yeah, actually, when you fast, you realize you're much sharper. I realize I'm much sharper. So if I'm doing a presentation or a speech, I generally like to go fasted to those things because you realize you're much sharper, you're much more on it versus just being heavy and overeaten, eating a lot, So I like to, it's a lifestyle I like doing now.
And for the record, I'm least sharpest after a goat over rice.
Yeah.
You feel how much work your stomach had to put, and you're just exhausted.
Yeah.
Childhood, upbringing, schooling. All I know is that your father sent you guys to Japan early so you can learn the language.
Yeah.
So can you talk me through childhood, upbringing, and schooling?
So up to middle school, I was in Saudi Arabia. Then we wanted to go. My father wanted to send us, as we were fortunate enough to be sent to Switzerland, actually. So we went to a boarding school, my brother and I, in Switzerland when I was about 12, 13. Again, I'm not sure about the exact age, but around that age was around actually end of middle school, starting of high school. We were in Geneva for about 2 years. And then that's when, my father was like, hey, I have a better idea. Why don't you guys go to Japan? Just out of the blue. And this was in 1994-5. I was, I guess, 14, 15. And, we were dead against it because, we just left Saudi. We went to Geneva. This was, a fun school. We have made new friends. And all of a sudden, we get shipped off to Japan. The reason, people ask me, why were you sent to Japan as a young boy? Actually at the time, we were doing business. They were talking 30 plus years ago. We were the only company. The company is much different today, but at the time, Toyota was our main business. Let me say that, our main business, and we were. You said franchise, but it was actually it was a distribution and retail and wholesale in Saudi Arabia. And my father's logic was, hey, we're doing business with the Japanese, go to Japan and learn, the language, the business, and, their kind of general philosophy, and get connected with them. So my brother went to university, he was at university. I ended up in a all-boys Catholic school in Japan because that was kind of the only decent one. It was an international school. But it was, tie, white shirt, gray pants, tuck in your shirt. And I didn't even know how to put a tie on those days.
British style almost.
It's British style. It was international, but it was, we had, fathers and brothers who are our teachers and the headmaster and things. But it was obviously such a drastic, all the way on the other side of the spectrum from where I was to, going somewhere totally new. Most of the students were Japanese, but they were studying English. And Japanese was a prerequisite that you had to take as an extra language. Everyone had to take it. So that was the main reason I went to Japan. So I was in high school. Then I graduated from high school. I went to university there. And then after university, I also worked there and ended up being one of my favorite spots in the world. Some of my best friends, I'm actually, if you ask me where's one of the most places I'm most comfortable in, I'll tell you it's Japan. And it's, when outside of Saudi Arabia, people go to London, people go to New York, people go to LA. I feel like I feel lost in these cities.
Interesting.
In Japan, I go there, I feel like I'm home. Because that's where I grew up. So I still go there now from time to time. Every quarter, I'm there for work, and it's always a wonderful experience. Have you been to Japan?
I've been once, but 30 years ago. I've probably mentioned it on 20 of the 100 podcasts that I've shot. It comes up every couple episodes. Really? Japan. I talk about how.
Why is that?
I feel that they do things the right way. If you ever want to know what's the right way to do something, see how Japan does it.
Yeah. So I've been going to Japan, I guess, since the 90s now, and you're talking 30 years, and till this day, every time I go, I end up having a new experience, till today, whether it's a new location I go to, whether it's food I have, whether it's people I meet, it's just so colorful and diverse in culture. It's so vibrant, you know, and for every region, you have certain cuisines. For every season, you have, different places you want to go to, and they have these 4 beautiful seasons, from the cherry blossom season to April, and then, or you have the fall where you have these beautiful, the city turns into this different color. So it's just such, and it's not just about that, but it's about them appreciating it. I'll give you an example. When I first went to Japan, and I was living there, and it was April, it was cherry, everywhere there was cherry blossom. Okay, it's beautiful. I see it. Okay, it's beautiful. I walk past, it's beautiful. And then everyone in the weekend saying we're going to Hanami. I'm like, well, what's Hanami? It literally means Hana, it's the flowers, and mi is watching, Hanami,
Watching flowers.
Watching flowers, flower watching. Like, okay, what's that? Why am I going to waste my time? I want to go out with my friends, on the weekend. And then, I skipped it the first year. And then the next year, no, you have to come with us. I'm like, well, okay, let's go to see this thing. I was still in high school because Hanami. So what do? You go to this, you go to one of these cherry blossom parks, famous ones. There's a bunch of famous ones in Tokyo. And you set up a picnic, and you just sit there with your friends, with picnic and food and, and having just kind of a nice setting. And you sit there and you look at the flowers, and you just sit there and you talk and you laugh, and everyone's there for that whole evening. And initially I didn't get it. I'm like, okay. And then I realized this is appreciation of nature. This is appreciation of beauty. This is not something I really grew up learning, I truly appreciate and absorb it. And ever since I was there, every single year, I went to Hanami to watch cherry flower, and you do it with friends, you do it with college friends, with colleagues from work, and it's such a wonderful experience. I worked in Toyota. I was actually the first non-Japanese, officially, the non-Japanese to work in their domestic marketing division, which was the domestic Kaizen division. And I was like a guinea pig. They wanted to try me out and see if it worked, to have like somebody international kind of integrate internally.
You were a case study.
I was like a guinea pig, They said case study, guinea pig. And what they had wrong, what they didn't know was I was already very integrated in Japanese culture versus someone who came from abroad. But the job was basically working with dealerships. We were Toyota. I was an employee in Toyota. But we were working with different dealer groups and dealerships around Japan, literally in little towns in the middle of nowhere, and we'd stay there for months or weeks, depending on what the project was, whether it was logistics, service, car cleaning process, supply chain, parts inventory, and we do these little projects with these dealers all around Japan. So I've been to places my Japanese friends even tell me, why could you go there? How could you do it? Why would you go there? So I've basically covered most of Japan, I believe. Yeah.
You asked me what my favorite part of Japan is, and it was a 30-year-old memory. What's your favorite part or parts of Japan?
My favorite city is by far Tokyo. My favorite part of Japan is Tokyo. It's just so, well, first of all, it's super safe, right? That's something, you think about a lot, especially these days,
Absolutely.
And then number two, it's again, the diversity and so many places to go. I'm a big foodie, I love my food. And when I'm in Japan, I really cherry pick, every time I go, I book in advance everywhere I want to go. By the way, in Japan, people call me there in Japan, hey, can you give me a hookup? I'm trying to get to this place. Can you hook me up? It's the only place you don't get hookups.
I'm sure you get inundated with people asking you.
Yeah. I can give you a list of good places, but there's no like, it's not.
No.
They go through the process. I've never been in any place in Japan where like, oh, I'll sort you out. It's not like that. It's not how they operate. Not only is that, they don't take tips.
It's rude, right?
It's rude. And I've, in all the years I've been there, you never tip. you know. And I can tell you, I've tipped or tried to tip somebody that they'll just say no. It's very service oriented, and this is their job and this is their role.
Is that what it is? My salary covers the work I do, so please don't pay me.
My salary covers it, even though if I'm unhappy with my salary, this is my job, this is my responsibility, and it's to support you, you know. So a friend of mine who used to work in this company used to host every year the president of Michelin, the food, you know, the food rating, restaurant rating, the stars, right?
Yeah.
And he used to host him for dinner every time he comes to Japan. And he said to him, Japan is the only country in the world, you know, because before we register, Tokyo, not Japan. Tokyo is the only country in the world. Before we publish a restaurant, we need to get their permission to publish this information. And 15% of the restaurants in Japan, the owners of the restaurants in Japan, refuse to publish. 15%. This was a couple of years ago. 15% refuse to publish. Even though that is the case, Japan is still one of the highest Michelin star restaurant cities in the world. I don't know where they stand today, but this was a couple of years ago. They were number one. But even though they were number one, it's 15% more than that refuse to publish. And why? Because they don't want to ruin their current clientele. They're happy with what they're getting now, and they're just satisfied in life. You know.
What's that thing that documentary with the 10, 12 seats in a
Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
That's when I realized that it's time to go back to Japan, and I haven't been back yet.
So here's the thing about Japan. Here's the thing about this place. I've been to Jiro Dreams of Sushi. Sushi, which is down in the train station.
It is in an underground.
It is underground station, yeah. Like for me, actually, it's a decent restaurant, but it's definitely average.
Oh,
you know, and it's not, and plus you don't get treated very well in that restaurant.
Oh.
It's the only restaurant I've been to in Japan. Him and his son also has another one. I went to his son, almost kicked me out of the restaurant. Never in my life have I ever been kicked out of a restaurant. Why?
For what?
We were speaking.
You were speaking?
We were speaking. 7, 8 seats we're sitting. A Japanese friend of mine, we're just talking. He's actually showing me a piece of paper. It's a work-related discussion. And then he's just standing in front of us like this and looking at us. And then you know, I look at him, I say, everything okay? He goes, if you came here to eat sushi, please eat. If you came here to talk, get out.
Wow.
And my friend, that never in my life has that ever happened.
So that's not part of the culture?
No, it's not part of the culture. And obviously we were super shocked. And I look to my right and I see all the other people sitting, they're just sitting quiet on the side. They're like, you're new here, you know. We're like, okay, let's just eat because we actually want to eat, you know. But I'll tell you something funny. After we finished, you know, we left, and he came to the front door to actually apologize.
Okay.
And he said to us, look, I'm sorry that I want people here to focus on the food. This never happens before, to focus on the food. It's very unique, by the way. And we said, no problem. It happens all the time. You know, it never happened before. But he said, I left my work and shut down the restaurant for almost a year because I put myself in a mental hospital. So he said, I couldn't, you know, I put myself in a mental hospital, and I couldn't imagine how I can cater to every single customer's needs. And that drove me crazy. And I went to a mental institution, and I'm just a little crazy, so I'm sorry. And then we said, no, it's okay. And then he gave us his book, and then we never went back again.
But I almost forgive him for that. I'll give him a pass for that. He's so passionate about his art.
Yeah,
they probably see it as art.
Yeah. I mean, some people appreciate that, but I don't get. You know, I don't go to a restaurant to get shouted at. I go to other places to get shouted.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, or you know.
And relax.
You want to eat, you want to relax, you want a good meal, you know. But some people no, it's important. But you know, it's an art, I guess. You know, it's an art.
Not being allowed to talk over a meal, is a bit intense.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's how those experiences were.
outside of that, obviously Tokyo, you don't have to tell me how well that city works and how clean and their love for vending machines, which maybe we can get into. But the people, like, where did they get their knack for being ethical and, you know, high morals and doing things the right way? And if I'm not mistaken, I think Japan has the highest life expectancy. Where did that all come from?
That's a good question, and I probably don't have the answer to that. You know, Japan has always been an isolated island, an isolated country, meaning, you know, it's all corners, all sides of it is an island, and that's what makes it so special, I think. So whatever it was, you know, the fact that, you know, they're in Japan, they speak Japanese, it's a different culture. It's always been very insulated. Wherever the cultural aspect, you know, the respect aspect, you know, how they respect, how they're very honest, generally, you know, I wouldn't know, to be honest. You know, that's just the way it has always been, you know.
It's fifth in the life expectancy rankings.
Is it
85 years old, the average?
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
So that's a big problem they have, actually. The biggest problem they have today, Japan, the biggest problem, their economy is kind of stagnating. It's not really growing. It's not really going down. It's just kind of flat. It's kind of flatlined. But their biggest problem is kind of opposite what we have here, is they have a huge aging population because they're living forever, these people. You know, they're, you know,
retired and getting a pension.
Retired, getting a pension, and then on the other side, nobody's getting married and having kids. So they're having a big problem with that. One option is to open immigration, for example. But, you know, again, the old kind of traditional Japanese saying, we're not going to open immigration because that's who we are. But the new school of thought is, let us open immigration and start kind of, you know, increasing our population. But currently, and it's an ongoing discussion. I mean, when I was in Japan, it was still a problem. And I remember, because I was a resident in Japan when I was in school there. And I remember I used to get, they used to do in some cities, for example, incentivize, you know, a discount on your second car if you have a baby, or so, you know, these little tactical programs. But nothing really worked, obviously. You know, they're still struggling with the population.
Is it just because it's one of the most expensive cities in the world, if not the most, discourages people from getting married?
So when I speak to your friends, they're saying, yeah, it's expensive to get married, and both women and men feel the same thing, you know, and just they want to work, they don't want to get married, they don't want to leave their jobs, you know, and it is obviously very expensive. Yeah.
عجينة محضرة بشغف، قوامها خفيف وهش، وطعمها ولا أروع.
Not too far away from the Japan subject, the company, Abdul Latif Jameel. You guys have been in existence since 1945, coming up to, inshallah, 80 years in 2 years, inshallah. When you hear stuff like one of the best companies to work at, great working culture, employees are, you know, super happy, they treat us well, how do you react to people saying such things about the company?
I'm first of all, I'm very honored and very proud if people do say that. I am, you know, I think first of all, you know, I have to give a lot of credit. You know, I've only been in the company for 20 years, you know, which is very small in the lifetime of this company. So a lot of what's been built has been built through, you know, what my grandfather built as a foundation, and my father also kind of grew and expanded. So I can't tell you, oh yes, I'm doing this and I'm doing it, because it's really a lot of what's happened over the last, you know, 80 years in this company. You know, it's not something that just happens overnight or in the last year or two or three. Of course, you know, our responsibilities, both myself and my brothers, are to make sure we keep on pushing the boundaries and, you know, help making sure our culture, which I'll tell you a little bit about, is really the foundation and the bedrock of everything we do. So we spend a lot of time as an organization, and I don't know about many other organizations, but we've started over the last several years spending a lot of time, a lot of energy on culture, on called corporate culture. I don't know if you ever heard the expression. We were just talking about this a few days ago. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. I don't know if you've heard that expression.
I haven't.
Which basically means you can have the best strategy in the world for a company. You can have after strategy, you can have the best KPIs and targets for you to achieve. But if you don't have the right culture in the organization, it's like the foundation of it, and it will just fall. So we are spending a lot of time. What does that mean? It means, a culture of, you want to build a culture of respect, the first thing. When I was in Japan, it's easy to say, I worked in Toyota, so it's easy to say, yeah, just respect him, say thank you, and give him a cup of coffee and buy him dinner, that's respect, but respect isn't just about being respectful. Respect is making sure you have in an organization the policies, the procedures, the standards that can enable the organization to be an organization of respect. What does that mean? That means, people should and are able to raise their hand saying there's something wrong without having fear. By the way, it sounds very simple. It sounds like, oh, it's never going to happen, but it does happen. It even happens in our organization. It happens in many organizations. But, the more you create that DNA within the organization, the harder it is for the wrong people to be in this organization. The wrong people meaning the people, they'll stick out like a sore thumb, And I've seen it happen, when someone comes in, they just don't fit. And they don't fit because their style of management, their experience is a different type of experience, It doesn't mean just be nice, we're nice and sometimes you're rough because of, you want to achieve what you want to achieve as targets that you set. But it's about like I said, making sure the policies and the standards of your organization fit the culture, because you can say we're a culture of love and respect and of this and that, then one policy can actually just destroy everything you're saying. So that's what we're working on today very much, and it's not just in Saudi, but it's we're in all the countries we're in. So we have a team actually. Just funny not to bring it back to Japan, but we have a team of Japanese who are, very senior, who are focusing, and we're still hiring, who come with that background, the background of the Toyota way, the background of Kaizen, which is process improvement, in our HR division, to help us really grow this culture that we want to do.
Two reflections. The first one, and I know you're not one to claim credit, is what you just said something that you have brought and wanted to implement in the company? Is this something you're spearheading?
Well, as far as the HR and Kaizen?
Yeah. The whole.
No, I don't think it's me spearheading. I'm definitely, an integral part of it, just as, many other individuals are a part of it. It's something I truly believe in, but it's definitely, it was spearheaded and started from the president and from the VP of our HR, they're the ones who are spearheading it,
Second reflection is, would you say that the success of the company today, a great deal of it is due to the support of the way that the Japanese people operate?
Yes.
The learnings and the best practices?
Yes, absolutely. So today, as I said, 30 years ago, we were just focusing on one product, one brand, one country. Today, we're diversified. As a company, we're in different sectors. But there's no doubt that the Toyota way is a big part of our DNA. I tell people, especially when I'm in Japan, if I'm speaking or something in Japan, I say my blood is red not because of biology, but because of Toyota, because that's the color of Toyota. And I think it's been, whether we like it or not, even if we're selling refrigerators, which we actually do in one of our other companies, I was using it as, if we have chicken farms, Toyota Way will always be a part of the DNA of what we do.
Irrespective of the industry.
Irrespective of the industry. We can be selling, we chicken farming or strawberry farming, whatever you want to do. But whatever we get into, Toyota Way will always be a integral part of what we are. We also, since the 90s, mid-90s, we also send young Saudis to Japan for 2 years to work in Toyota. Over the last 30 years, I think we've sent just under 100 now, 100 young Saudis. Some of them that are still in the organization are senior leaders, and some of them went to other companies who have become senior leaders, so it's a big part of what we do.
Almost like a university, if you have it on your seat.
Yeah.
It's like you jumped at the top of the list.
Yeah, so just, that's, it's important to think of a university, of you are a training ground, for people to develop and to grow in your organization, But again, sometimes people move on and go to other organizations. We're super proud when that happens as well.
I'm a car guy. I had a diesel Land Cruiser for 3 years. I was an idiot for selling it. I don't know why I sold it.
I don't know why. It must be better than the car outside.
I was definitely going to the gas station less frequently than the one I have now. I came to sell it after 3 years, and for whatever reason, I'm sorry, but the Toyota genuine motor oil sticker in the back, I must have removed it from the beginning. It must have been an OCD thing. The first 3 or 4 people that came to see the car said, "Where's the sticker?"
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I think he realized that, it's got 40,000 kilometers on it. No, I don't want it. Second guy came. "Where's the sticker?"
Wow.
Third and fourth.
Wow.
The fourth guy bought it. You know why? I bought a sticker.
Oh, really?
You know what that told me? I'm in marketing. That told me that there is so much brand equity in that sticker that without it, it reduced the value of the car, and it made the potential buyer ask, why is that not there? I don't want to drive a Toyota without a Toyota genuine motor oil sticker on the back.
Yeah.
The way you might not want to drive it if the logo or the emblem was missing from the trunk.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about how much efforts has gone into the marketing of the brand to the point that a sticker made a difference?
Yeah. Look, marketing is important, branding is important, service is important, but it begins with Toyota, it begins with them producing one of the best products in the world, best automotive products in the world, we believe. It begins with them being one of the greatest, at least in my belief, one of the greatest companies in the world. That's where it begins. They produce and manufacture the car. We do everything else. So our role is to do sales, service, marketing and branding for this product. That's our role. And it would not have been possible if it was a bad product, even if it, but we have we learned from them, one of the foundations or the cornerstones of this business is the after sales business, so when we built this business, we made sure that when my father and my grandfather built this business, rather, they made sure that, we had a very, very strong service and parts network until today. When we think about selling a car, the first thing we think about is how are we going to service, how are we going to parts, what kind of parts we're going to do, or how are we going to supply parts, inventory at the right time, at the right place, then the right product. And I think that kind of, when that converges all together, you have the best product, the best, a great company, and they have another company focusing on service, focusing on sales. It's very difficult to go wrong. You have to do, it's a lot of work, of course, in it. But you have the right ingredients for a great partnership and a great company overall, I think, yeah.
And the way I computed that, or, I concluded, was that Abdul Latif Jameel really focused on after sales, which in turn helped sales. At a time when everyone's just thinking about sales. Kind of like out of the box thinking. Am I right with?
I mean, yeah, you are. You know, I'm not going to say we got it right. You know, we're still trying to improve. You know, and there's always so much areas to improve, and that's one of the first pillars going back to Toyota is Kaizen. You know, and you know what Kaizen means?
I don't.
Oh, okay, Kaizen is one of the most important. If I left you today with anything about Toyota, I'll leave you with Kaizen. Okay. Kaizen in Japanese means continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. No matter, and it's a word, yani, it's like, it's the most common word used in Toyota probably, you know. It's like, oh, Google, you know, like Google this, Google that. It's like Kaizen this, Kaizen that. It's the same thing, you know. And it means continuous improvement, meaning that and that's what our business is basically, is you create a standard, and then you fix it with policies, with procedures and standards. Then you Kaizen and go to the next level. Then you fix it and make sure it sticks. Then you improve it to the next level. And the trick is, there's two things. It's not how much you improve it by, you know, like a 10x or 20x or 30x. Even if you can improve it by, you know, 2x, for example, you know, that's enough. That's enough. When I worked in Japan, this is an important one because that really changed the way I think. When I worked in Japan, you know, any project we work in, whether we go into a workshop, there's a problem. They're like, oh, we can't produce, you know, we can't service enough cars during the day because we have a backlog, we have a backlog. The first thing they ask you to do as a Toyota team is something called Yamazumi. Yamazumi in Japanese means, Yama is mountain and Zumi is like compilation of like numbers and data, right? And basically they make you stand in front of a mechanic in that process, or a technician or mechanic, with a stopwatch, okay, and a notebook, and literally everything he does, you have to like click, clock, everything, and he knows you're watching. You're watching him. He knows that you're standing around, and you just stand there from 9 to 5, literally, and each one of us is standing in front of a mechanic, and we're just clocking everything he does. You know, if he went to the toilet, we clock that. If he's working, it's clocked, he's working. If he goes to get a tool from the tool shed or the tool department, you know, we clock. If he went to ask somebody for something, we clock that. Everything. And that's called Yamazumi. Now, what do we do after that? The next day, we take all this data. It takes us maybe 2 days to enter all this into Excel sheets, right? That's probably most of the work that I did, right? And then you enter this in Excel sheets, and then I swear to you, they print it all out, and it's literally maybe 3-4 meters of Excel sheets for every mechanic. And I go to my boss, I say, you know, what are we doing? What's the purpose of this, you know? And then he says, Hassan, good you asked me. I was waiting for you. I'm like, what's the point? What are we doing? We're just clocking this guy, you know? He says, did you find any, they call muda, means wasted time? I said, well, he went to the bathroom a couple of times. That's not wasted. That's necessary. You can't take that out. I'm like, okay. Well, he went for a smoke. I was like, okay, that's the little break he had. Well, he went to get a tool from the tool shed. Okay. How much time did he waste? I said, he wasted a good 40 seconds. Okay. He's like, oh, wonderful. Can you make this 40 seconds 0? I guess we can put a tool next to him or have everybody have a tool so they don't waste time. He's like, wonderful. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is 40 seconds, you know? He's like, even if you can improve 40 seconds, I want you to think for a second, Hassan. He said, think for a second. He said, 40 seconds for this mechanic in one day. What does it add up to in a week? What does that add up to in a month? In 6 months, in a year. And that's how they think. And that's what Kaizen is. It's small incremental changes, but it's not done by one person. It's done by everybody. And if everybody thinks like that, the whole organization moves in the right direction. And that's the culture you want to build, because it's kind of self-improving and self-growing, versus one person has an idea. Like, I have $1 billion idea. That's not how Toyota and Kaizen. It's not $1 billion idea. It's a $50 idea. But you just keep at it. You keep at it every single day. And that's what Kaizen means. And I think that was one of my biggest learnings in Japan, you know.
You see, that's why these guys are different. And that's what I love about the country.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They go for the 1% improvement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the sensationalized, as you said.
No, it's not. It's not. It really isn't. And
dude, they molded you to the person you are today.
Yeah, I'm
practically.
I think I'm a 6 foot something guy, and it was from inside. Inside, I go to Japan, I start, rapping with these guys in Japanese. I'm like, hey, and the people look at me, But inside, I'm Japanese. Yeah, I believe that.
You're obviously fluent in the language. Yeah?
I'm fluent. I'm a little rusty now, but I was fluent. Yeah.
Writing.
Yeah, we learned kanji. And there's kanji, katakana, and hiragana, 3 types of handwriting, and you need 1,000 characters. Because you have the characters, right? The Japanese language.
Yeah.
You have the Chinese. Yeah. You need 1,000 to be able to read the newspaper. 1,000. So I learned 1,000, but I probably forgot most of it now.
When you're ordering in a restaurant, or going about your life over there, speaking fluently, do they like double take?
No, actually, not in Tokyo.
Not in Tokyo.
Not in Tokyo. Not in Tokyo. Most other cities, I did a homestay course once to learn Japanese in a little town north of Japan, and I met kids who had never met a foreigner in their life, and a part of this homestay course was, it was for Japanese, and I was taking a Japanese course. I had to go give a presentation to kindergarten kids in this auditorium in this little school. And I go to the school, and it's the first time these kids see a foreigner, let alone a 6 foot something foreigner, And they're just looking at me, and I'm speaking in Japanese, practicing my Japanese, talking to them about Saudi Arabia, introducing who I am. And then after my speech, they go, everyone just wants to shake my hands, because they've never shaken hands with anybody, or with anybody, even with foreigners or with anybody. They don't shake hands, and they just want to shake hands. They're like, please shake hands. Take my photo, ask for my autograph, and I'm like, oh, this little town, I'm a superstar. And then just to make it even funnier, it's an auditorium, a little gym for kids. They had a basket, and they're like, if a kid throws it to me, he's like, slam dunk, please. I'm like, I think I'm taller than the basket itself, I'm like, you know what, let me do it, this, I slam dunk, yeah.
They probably still remember that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's we're going back to, we digressed a bit, but again, HR and Kaizen and the Toyota way, that's a big part of what we're trying to achieve, and I think you could never, it's not going to happen by itself. It takes a lot of effort, to create that culture, and it's super important,
I'm glad you came back to the Toyota story, because I think it's a perfect segue to talk about the Lexus story.
Yeah.
That hit the ground, if I'm not mistaken, in 1990. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
1991 too, yeah.
1991
yeah.
too. When you look back at that era, how do you feel about how Saudis were quick to adopt the brand? And until today, Lexus, it's known for, it'll hold its value.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, not like the other brands, but Lexus, trustworthy, hold its value. It was a love story with the Saudis from day one. How do you reflect?
So maybe a little bit about Lexus. Lexus was a brand that Toyota, again, in the 90s launched. And the only country they didn't launch it in was in Japan. Meaning everywhere else it was Toyota, and then they created this Lexus. But Japan, they decided, we don't want to launch Lexus in Japan because we're worried that if it's a flop, it might damage the Toyota brand because it's something new we're trying. So they launched it in the US, they launched it in the Middle East, they launched it in Europe. And, you know, thankfully it was a huge success. Japan was launched in 2004.
14 years after.
Almost 14 years after they launched it in Japan. But that's how they started off. And again, it was my first interaction with Lexus was, again, I was, you know, probably in middle school in Jeddah al-Khalsa. And my father came to pick my brother and I up from school. And where did you go to school?
Dar al-Fikr.
Dar al-Fikr. Yeah. So we were, it wasn't as fancy as Dar al-Fikr. I remember Dar al-Fikr was like the cool.
Throw me under the bus.
Yeah, it was the cool school at the time.
It was. I'll take that.
You know, but Jeddah al-Khalsa, you know, we were still playing in dirt and the sand and, you know, and sweaty and like there was no like proper place. And I remember my brother and I were like just sweaty and dirty and sand all over us. And then, you know, he came to pick us up with the Lexus. Like, I got this amazing car. We're going to start selling this car.
LS400?
LS400, the first one. And then we come and he looks at us. He's like, I'll send the driver later, you know? And then like, he's like, you're not coming into this car. We're like, okay, what was that car? You know,
too filthy.
And then he goes. But I think back then, I have to give all credit to my father and the management at the time, because brand was very important. Of course, with all the makeup, the genetic makeup, I'll call it, of, you know, focusing on service, focusing on parts, inventory, focusing on parts availability, the brand was very important. And I remember at the time we built, 1992 was the opening, or 3, again I have to check, one of the largest Lexus facilities in the world.
Medina Road.
In Medina Road, right? And it was a Lexus center with a sports club, with barbers, with you know, pool, with squash, with tennis, you know, and exclusively for Lexus. You know, if you don't want to lift the weights, somebody will lift them for you, kind of place. You know, like premier. You know,
and who's who used to go there.
And the who's who used to go there. There was nothing like it in all of Saudi Arabia. You know, it was the place. And I remember we had, you know, so many people complain. They're like, I don't have a Lexus, but how come I can't go? And then we changed the policy at the time. Then Lexus customers had some special incentive or some special discount for, you know, other people, and you had other people. And for many, many years, even had its own sushi bar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, at the time, before sushi was a thing, you know. And it's funny, you know, we opened up a sushi bar. Well, actually, my father opened up a sushi bar at the time. And, you know, I think we got a Japanese chef. And, you know, within a year, it was bankrupt because nobody was going to the sushi bar. It wasn't like a thing, you know, at the time. Now, obviously, sushi is like as common as burgers. but at the time, it was just and it was just one product. It was just one LS400 where, you know, my father said, let's build the greatest facility, the greatest experience for our customers in Saudi Arabia. And that was Lexus Center in 1992 and 1993.
And how long was it just the one product for?
It was a couple of years, and we didn't have much vision and sight. Yeah, we didn't know what was coming up, but we had belief and trust in this company called Toyota. They're like, this is the new luxury company we're doing. We're like, we'll take it, and we're going to build the best thing before we even see anything else. Who does that? You know, like if someone told me this, I'm like, hey, what's your background? What's this? Do you have an investment? You know, no. But that's the kind of relationship and trust that, you know, thankfully that we have with this wonderful company.
Speaks volumes. And I think that more often than not separates those that make it and those that don't in any capacity. Do you believe? You guys believed.
We believed, we trusted, and we had great trust, you know, and we believed. You know, my father was very, very close with Dr. Toyoda. You know, we're very, very close with Mr. Akio, you know, who's his son, Dr. Toyoda, Dr. Shoichiro Toyoda, his son Akio, who's currently the chairman, who was CEO. And it's just about, I think that's the foundation of any business relationship is trust. Yeah, is trust. So important.
It's everything.
Yeah. And you'll be surprised how rare it is. You know, you'll be so surprised, you know, how rare it is.
How does the Rivian story play into all of this? You guys obviously are big investors in the company.
Yeah.
Tell us the Rivian story.
Sure. So Rivian's a great story because we loved cars so much. We wanted to, you know, we sold cars, we accessorized cars, we serviced cars, we retailed cars, you know, we did everything with cars except kind of the last, we'll call it the last mile of cars, you know, the car supply chain, the value chain of cars, which is manufacturing. And we've always, as a company, as a family, we've always wanted to get involved in manufacturing. And, you know, we needed the right time, and we're not engineers, you know, industrial manufacturing engineers, you know, we're car salesmen at the end. You know, when you talk about what I do, I say I'm a car salesman at the end of the day. I mean, I'm not somebody who knows manufacturing well. So we were looking. Well, actually, if we rewind a bit, we've always wanted to manufacture, and at the time I was in charge. This was in the late, I think, 2010. I was in charge of a company called Daihatsu, which is a subsidiary of Toyota. But around 2010, they decided to exit all markets around the world, including Europe, including Africa, including Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, and just focus on Japan, Malaysia, and Indonesia. That was just a strategic thing that they wanted to do. We're like, fine, this is not we can't do anything about that. But this one of their products was a small 1-ton pickup we called it the Bub. It was called Grand Max internationally, but they gave us the right to call it the Bub in Saudi Arabia just for us.
I see it all over the streets.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. It's a great product. Very cheap, very efficient, very strong, 1-ton pickup, you know. And we just couldn't stop selling these cars. It was a great car. And I went to, you know, when they exited, you know, it was very sad because I was in charge of this portfolio. It was a smaller portfolio at the time. I said, you know, to my father, I said, hey, you know, how difficult could it be to build our own truck? And my father's like, yeah, let's go do it. I'm like, okay, great. What do I do? He's like, let's go talk to some companies, look at contract manufacturers, you know, start having these discussions, see what comes out of it, you know. So I went, met some companies in India, contract manufacturers. I met some companies in Turkey also, but nothing really resonated, you know, nothing really clicked, you know, like, okay, yes, but, you know, it's like, it was still very unclear, you know, how just randomly somebody wants to build a truck. The company wants to build a truck. It didn't flow. And just by pure coincidence, my father, old friend and professor from MIT, my father was an MIT grad, calls up my father and says, you know, there's this kid that just graduated, PhD. He was one of the brighter kids, one of the fastest PhDs as well in MIT. And he wants to build cars, and maybe you guys should talk. So my father goes, you know, go meet this guy and see. I'm like, he's 27-year-old. What's this guy gonna do, you know? And then, you know, we decide to meet in London, because he was in Florida at the time. And I met him in London, and this is RJ, the CEO of Rivian. And we just connected. I said, you know, they were actually building a sports car at the time. They were looking at designing and, well, not building, but at least their direction was sports car. And then I had, you know, said, you know, why don't we think of a truck? And then he's like, absolutely, that makes more sense. You know, the trucks are some of the best sold vehicles in the world at the time. You know, trucks haven't been changed. If you look at the, you know, the architecture and design of a truck The platform, it just hasn't been changed for like 100 years. It's just the same, more or less the same kind of platform, technology, everything is a bit. Let's relook at how a truck is designed. And, mind you, we're talking about building cars, but we said, let's start and see where this goes. So we started with him and we started, creating a strategy and creating a plan, how we wanted to move forward. And he's one of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. And he worked with us very closely, and it wasn't an open check. We said, let's work for 6 months, and that's 6 months and see what you can achieve, and those are your targets for 6 months. And then for 6 months, for the next 6 months, let's do it. And then for 6 months turned into a year, 1 year turned into 2 years. And then we worked with him and his team, and, we grew the team, to obviously hundreds. We bought a factory. In the 8 years, almost 8 years, we worked with him, just us and him.
I didn't know the relationship was that long.
It was 8 years, 7, 8 years. And it was literally just us as the major investor. We didn't want outside investments. And the main reason was we wanted the team to focus. If you know anything, about, when startup world, every 1 year, 2 years, you got to go raise. And it takes a toll on the management, focusing on the business. So our strategy with him, and he agreed as well, was let us focus, and we said, okay, achieve what we have to achieve, and then we'll keep on growing with you until 8 years later. And then we had a bunch of other investors come in. When we first came into the company, it was like 10, 12 guys in the company building a car.
You were there from scratch. I was thinking
it was it was scratch.
Not seed round. You were founding.
The company was already there, so it's not founding, but we definitely, helped propel it to a different level.
Early days.
Yeah, very, very early days. Very early days. I never was involved in building a car, design reviews, crash testing. I had no idea, but they put me in these meetings with them, and I'd just learn. I'd learn about how a car is built, and I still wouldn't be able to tell you how a car is built. It's a very, very, very difficult and very complex.
So your 20-year experience between Toyota and Lexus, did that help you at all with?
Of course, because we understood the industry. At least we believed we understood the industry. We could have been wrong. We understood where the industry was going, and we believed that. And we thought, let's take a bet. It wasn't chicken farming, an industry that we don't know. It was an industry that we knew very well, and we understood, and we felt confident to take it and to grow it. Yeah.
How do you go about choosing investments? It's a tricky world. You've got some right, you've probably got some wrong.
Sure.
What's your philosophy on what do you see that makes you say, okay, yeah, let's get in on that?
So we've always been very passionate investors. When I say passionate, we like to get involved in our investments for the benefit or the detriment of the founders or the owners or the managers. We like to get our hands dirty. I don't know if it's because of our operational experience, but we like to get involved. So we rarely, especially major investments, we like to get more involved. And I think, we have different sectors we're involved in. The one that I've been most involved in is the auto mobility sector. And, today it's happening obviously, but, 10 years back, I tell you, electrification is going to be very interesting, So really thinking about, okay, what's in the next 10 years, what's happening in the next 10 years, because we like to say, patient capital. So we look at very long-term investments and things that you can grow and build together versus turning a quick buck and trading.
Kaizen.
Yeah, Kaizen way. Yeah. So really taking our time, building and making sure foundations are solid and strong. So you look at an industry, you look at a sector, and I think founders and CEOs are very important, as well as their humility, I think, is very important. Again, not to say that, you know, there are a lot of founders who may be or some founders may be arrogant, or this is fine, you know, but us, you know, it's important to have that sense of humility, which is what RJ had as a leader. I mean, that's the first thing that pops to mind when I think about him, is his humility, meaning his ability to say, I was wrong. Let's move, you know, let's move here. I was, you know, okay, fine. Let's, you know, and not to dwell and not to resist, you know, and just say I was wrong, and if I was right, then let us discuss it. And if I was wrong. So I think humility is very important in any leadership.
It's also rare.
It's also rare. It's also very rare, you know. And when you find it, you know, in leaders, I think those are the leaders, especially if they're extremely knowledgeable leaders, especially if they're passionate leaders, you know, then you have a very special combination.
How would you say, or what trait does someone need to have in order to be successful? I know it's generic. What's something that you feel you need to have this if you want to be successful in life?
Successful in life, well, I don't know if you're talking to the right person, but I think from what I see from people who are successful is I mean, it is a generic question, but I think patience is important. I think patience is important. I think perseverance is important. You know, just not giving up, you know, I think that's very important. And again, this is very generic. And I think...
Hassan, sorry, you say generic, but a lot of people give up too early.
Yeah.
So yeah, as generic as it isn't practiced as much as it should be practiced.
Yeah. Give up too early because, you know, I'll tell you, well, I don't want to say a certain country, but, you know, some people are taught that, you know, failure is, you know, the end, basically. You know, but when you go to Silicon Valley, you go to see these startup worlds, is failure is just another step. You know, it's going to happen. It's just a step. You know, it fell again, a step. And I think that's important. You know, I think the best leaders I see and I meet are leaders who don't see failure as the end. You know, they're like, oh, okay, let's keep on going. You know, like it's just like whatever. You know, some leaders like, oh my God, we failed. Khalas, it's over. You know, life's over. And you know, some people we come to take a different route. You know, so I think that combination of patience, perseverance, and then humility is very important for a leader.
The subject of failure, I just have to throw in this bit. Stephen Bartlett, one of the most renowned podcasters, said that he just hired someone who is head of experiments. He believes that the more we fail, the more we tally up our failures, will put us in a position where we can eventually get to where we want to be.
Yeah.
Success is determined by how many failures have you had. So he hired someone just to experiment. Fail. Eventually, he who has failed most would eventually, more often than not, get to the right.
Yeah, I think it's all about experience, right? Yeah. It's all about getting hit very hard, you know, and then making sure that doesn't happen again, and knowing, you know, sometimes the only way to succeed is to fail hard, you know? And then I can't remember who said it. It's like, if you fail, make sure you fail hard. I can't remember who said that. It was a famous quote by somebody.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Your father, huge, and we touched on him in the beginning, but something that you've learned from him, wisdom that you can pass down from him, and you know, he's carried the company to new heights.
Yeah.
What's something that he has taught you that stayed with you forever?
So my father is one of my, you know, but again, that's for many people, he's one of my heroes. You know, I've learned so much from him, and I'm still learning over the years. And a story that I haven't said enough that I love to share with you is a story. Not, well, it does touches on business, but there's a human side to it. So the first time I started working in the company was 2001, when I started working in the company. And when I started working in the company, I was in a department, I was training, and I was sitting in the middle of this open space office, and everyone was coming to me, and people were coming to me telling me, oh, I have these ideas. People coming to me, oh, I have these problems. People coming to me saying, oh, well, let's talk. We got to meet. We got to, and then just so many demands, requests, and I just felt I have a very high sense of responsibility. And if I can't fulfill that, I start breaking down, I start feeling like I'm breaking down. So anyway, day after day, I go to the office and people coming to me and pressure and this and that. And this is first month of work, so it's not, and it wasn't like serious things. It was just like, some guy I didn't get promoted because of this. Why, I'm having, I'm like, oh my God, he didn't get promoted. And there's a big problem in HR. Let me talk to HR. Let me, I just felt a lot of stress, and pressure. Again, relative, right? Because it's your first couple of months working. So I come home. At the time I was living with my family, with my parents. I come home, and I remember as I come home, it was maybe 8 o'clock at night or something. I come home and I see a bird on the floor with a broken wing. You could tell it's a broken wing because it was kind of like flipping, on the side. And I'm just so exhausted, and I'm looking at this bird, and I say, the right thing to do is to help this bird, and see how you could save it, and help it fix its wing. And the other side of me was like, look, you're exhausted. You've had a long day. You've had your pressure. It's just, this is the circle of life, Hassan. Just, let it go. The cat will eat the bird. Somebody, that's food chain. Yeah, the circle of life. And I'm like, you know what? I can't. This is life. I just go. I go up, take a shower, come back down. I come to, maybe half an hour later, I come to the kitchen. I see a box in the kitchen with holes in it, right? Like a shoebox almost, And I asked, the guys in the kitchen, I'm like, what is this? Who is this? Oh, they like, your father just came home half an hour after me, and he asked us to help this bird, and to save it. And I just said, wow, I'm like, I can't feel worse than I feel today, And that was a huge wake-up call for me. Not I'll tell you why professional, but more of a human side. Ever since that happened, I don't think twice about, helping, a human, should I not, an animal, or even a plant, any life. Because all life is valuable, and we all know that. But again, if we know that, why don't you act on it? So acting on it is what is the differentiator, actually taking those 2-3 steps to actually do something. So that was the first thing I learned. That was the most important thing. But the second thing I learned was delegation. Did my father actually go up and pick this bird? No, he didn't. He actually asked somebody to do that. And I think as people's roles grow in leadership positions, you have to learn how to delegate, and that was a lesson for me, okay, I could have gone inside and asked somebody to help me to do it or something, but that was a big lesson for me.
It stayed with you for 25 years.
It stayed with me, and it will always stay with me and it's funny, when I mentioned this to my father, he's like, I don't remember helping any bird. And I'm like, that's exactly, that's the kind of person you are. You're like, it's just a part of life.
Have you noticed that with yourself that you have managed to get happier with age? How have you approached age and your happiness?
I guess I'm not unhappy with age. I am happy with age. I think the only thing I'm unhappy about is trying to spend, the older you get, the more you realize that you want to spend time with the people you love. And you realize that time passes so quickly. And, I love spending time with my family. And I think, it's almost like with age, I'm having less time, you know, and I'm not even married yet, you know, and I don't know. I tell my friends, I'm like, you guys are married. I'm like, how do you even make time for your families? I barely have time for me or my family. So I think, you know, you appreciate things more with age. You know, I think that's what I would say. You appreciate things with age, you know, and that in turn makes you happier. So, you know, I was in Switzerland this summer. You know, we went to this beautiful lake in Switzerland, and I never thought I would look at, you know, this beautiful lake and these beautiful mountains and say, I can stay here for a long time, you know. And it made me so happy, you know, just me and a friend of mine, we were there, and, you know, we swam in the lake, we sat every day just looking at the mountains, relaxing. And I think, you know, with age, you know, you start realizing the beauties and start appreciating more, you know.
Simple things, yeah.
And I think those are the simple things that make you happier in life. And I guess the earlier you can realize that, you know, the more you can enjoy life as you grow older, you know. Yeah.
What stresses you? What pisses you off?
Arrogant people.
Spitting. Because you're the furthest away from that, so it's fitting.
Yeah, I can't stand arrogance, you know. And again, it comes in different forms, in different shapes, different people, you know. But definitely, that's something that, you know, whether it's in the circles around me, whether it's in, you know, the company or people, you know, that's something I don't appreciate, I don't tolerate, you know. It's important to have some degree. I'm not saying everyone has to be humble, but it's important to have that characteristic, I think, for leaders to grow and to learn, you know. You know, what stresses me is again, I think time seems to be getting faster, you know. As you grow older, you know, when you were in, you know, school, in middle school, you're like, when am I going to get out of here? When am I going to get out of here? You know, like you just, like, time was so slow. But as you get older, time becomes like, that was a whole year. You know, we're already coming to the end of, you know, 2023. And that just started. You know, I can remember what I did for New Year's, you know, and it's just everything just finished.
The years feel like months when you're older.
Yeah, and I think it gets quicker and quicker and quicker, and then just that makes you think a lot more about how you want to spend your time and with who you want to spend it with. Yeah.
What if I asked you, what have you been better at saying no to?
I think spending time with people I want to spend time with, and spending time with people I don't want to spend time with. And I think I've learned, and I'm still learning how to say that, you know. You want to be with people who give you good energy. You want to be with friends around you. You want to be with people who give you love and you give them love, and that's very important, you know. So you need to say no to anything else, because that's it's wasting your time. It's wasting their time, you know. So that's what it's important. It's important to say no to.
Do you enjoy time alone?
Yes. Yeah. I'm definitely introvert. I would consider myself an introvert, which means I probably get energized when I'm alone. I can be social. I'm social, and when I need to be, but I'm definitely an introvert. I get energy when I'm more alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what do you do for free time? What's your hobbies?
So I do like to read when I have time. I've taken up chess during COVID. I'm still doing it. I have a, I don't know if you played chess.com at all.
I don't.
No, but there's a rating, you know, system, you know, and I might have a target to get to a certain, you know, it just takes time to do that. So I'm doing that.
Picked it up in COVID.
Yeah, I picked it up in COVID. After I saw, it's called Queen's Gambit.
Okay. Yeah.
Queen's Gambit. I'm like, you know what? I think I know how to play chess. Let me pick it up, you know, and I picked it up. Got a couple of lessons.
There's more to it than just it being a board game.
No, it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game if you ever get into it. It's not about memory, you know. It's not about memory. It's a lot about tactics, and learning certain tactics, and it's just such a beautiful game because there's a lot of math and calculations where you have to kind of calculate, and most of the time I get it wrong, but I'm still learning, but when you get a win, it's the best feeling, I like to do the gym as well. I love running. Running is my my kind of go-to to switch off. I love running.
That probably relieves a lot of stress as well.
Yeah, I've recently started ice baths, ice plunges. Have you tried them?
A month ago.
Oh, once?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
3 times.
Oh, that's it.
And I'm only like 5 bags of ice deep, and it's like.
So my friend, I told you about him, Peter. He got me into it. And now I'm addicted. I have to, like, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. I got one at home now.
What effects did you see that changed for the better?
So with ice?
With ice.
Well, it's definitely, let's put all the science aside. How do I feel?
Yeah. How do you feel?
That's what I do. I say, how do I feel? Leave it aside. I don't care about the science because there's, nay and yay sayers, So I feel very happy, very refreshed. You feel a sense of accomplishment, like you went through this pain, and suddenly you push through it. Mentally, it's like prepping your mind for adversities or challenge, and like that's the first thing you do in the morning, is get in a nice bath and be like, and it's difficult. It's difficult. I did one today, and it's difficult to get in. You're like, I don't want to, and you're standing outside for like 3-4 minutes. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Let it just. It's still cold, So, but once you do it, you feel fantastic.
Breathing. Yeah, it's all about the breathing.
You're breathing. It's from a scientific point of view. It's there's health benefits, serotonin, happiness. You can feel a lot happier. White blood cell boosts for your immunity as well. So there's a lot of benefits as well, for it.
So I ask how or what changes did you see in yourself, and how did things improve? I was told to take cold showers and watch how it'll improve your life. For the past decade, I've been struggling from, it was a benign case of skipped heartbeats. After maybe, a meal that maybe had some MSG, I'd get like a couple of skipped beats. If I have a Coke or a Diet Coke, I get some skipped. So I know what to not do. Allah said. Yeah. I saw some of like maybe 5 or 6 heart doctors, and all said benign. The structure of the heart, everything's 100%. They stress tested me. So that was a bit of, it assured me whenever I get it, listen, structure is good, don't stress, it's benign. Mm-hmm. Someone said, try cold showers, they reduce inflammation. So now what I do in the morning and in the evening is I get under the shower and I go cold and then turn it on. Freezing, out of breath. With time, it got better.
Do you know what temperature?
I don't, but it's cold. Yeah. Like I gasp.
Yeah.
And then, in Jeddah, it's hot. So within 20 seconds, it's warm again.
Yeah.
What I noticed, Hassan, after the first week is that my 10 skips a day went down to 3.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then after the first month, I'm at 1 a day. So then my trainer is a big advocate of the ice bucket. He said, Mo, get yourself into an ice bucket. I mean, if a cold shower, which is far from freezing, has had that effect on you, I wonder what an ice bath would do to you, an ice bucket.
Yeah.
So I ordered something on Amazon, a couple $100.
You put some ice.
And I put some ice on it. Yeah. Like a very entry-level ice bucket.
Yeah.
And doing that 3 or 4 times, my skips almost evaporate. Like
great,
they're gone.
So why don't you keep on doing it?
I am. Like I'm doing it once every 3 or 4 days. I'm not like you where it's like 3 times a week. But reduction of inflammation is something that I first-handedly saw.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine like what else it can do to you.
Yeah. Inflammation, actually, I forgot to tell you, but I had shoulder inflammation and almost disappeared, just by going from the ice. Yeah. Like I'm addicted. I love it. I can't live without it now. Yeah. And they have these machines now. There's one called, there's a bunch of companies, but one not promoting it or anything. It's called Brass Monkey. This it's like a half a ton, 400 kilo machine. Like a tub with a generator inside, connected to your Bluetooth. You can actually, I'll show you later. You can actually like change the temperature. you know, in the morning, switch it on. You can actually press a button, and it actually makes you ice pieces, ice bricks in it, you know, and then just, you know, it's just the coolest thing. Those are like the top of the range. Really cool.
I have a flimsy one now, and I was thinking of investing in the big oil barrel looking one.
Yeah,
which keeps the ice for a couple of days.
Yeah. But the good thing about it is that because when you sit in the bucket, the barrel, your body temperature starts to change. If you stay there for a while, yani, the ice will melt, and the body temperature will change as well, because the ice will change, the temperature of the water will change. But these machines, it's regulated, so it stays the same temperature throughout. Yeah,
that's some
much harder
shit.
Yeah. So, but it's super cool. It's really cool.
I think it's like one of the best discoveries that I've landed on in the last couple of years. I remember saying that I'll do whatever it takes to get rid of my skips. You know, I'll do whatever it takes. And little did I know, the answer was in a cold shower, and thus the ice. Bucket.
Yoga? Do you do yoga?
I on and off. My wife's a Pilates instructor. Again, on and off.
Okay.
Cardio, on and off. Tore my meniscus, so I couldn't do as much cardio.
Yeah.
But definitely breathing and yoga, I think, is up there with ice.
Yoga, I also do. I picked it up in COVID as well. But I started doing Ashtanga yoga, and you don't realize. And I start measuring now, like how breathing, you know, helps your heart, like keeping your heart rate low when you sleep. Like especially, you know, a lot changed. You know, we don't realize the importance of just breathing properly. You know, I think, you know, and that's a problem that many people face, I think, that don't realize that, and they just go life without really breathing. And when I started yoga, I realized that's a big part of what you do, you know, the breathing exercises and stuff.
Yeah. Because we do it so subconsciously.
Yeah, and we do it the wrong way. You know, there's
breathing through your mouth.
Breathe through your mouth, and there's a way where you're supposed to suck it in. I still can't do it right, but yeah.
But what is the ring on your finger do besides track your sleep?
Yeah, so it's an Oura ring. You know the Oura ring?
I've heard of it. I've never used it, and if I haven't used it, I don't know what it does. So besides tracking your sleep,
so it's mainly tracking your sleep, but also heart rate and so I have.
It's comfortable, actually.
It's very comfortable, and things like heart rate variability.
Yeah.
Have you heard of heart rate variability?
No.
So heart rate variability is the difference. I'll probably say this wrong, but the difference between each beat isn't equal. It's like you know, it's always variable.
Yes.
And the more variability there is, the better, right? The less variability, the worse. And actually, it's not a precursor, but it's an indicator of how healthy you are. If you have a very low one, and that's how they measure stress. You know, the Whoop band.
Yeah. That's
what they use to measure a part of measuring stress. So I realized breathing exercises helped me a lot with that. And I'll just show you, Shuf. So this is the kind of measure. So yesterday I had one of the best nights of my life. So you see every day this kind of super accurate as well. Yeah.
And when you say best night of your life in terms of deep sleep,
so everything they measure: deep sleep, REM, movement.
This is data.
Yeah. And I like. Some people say they're too stressed.
Well, Hassan, that's not too bad. Average total sleep hours this week, 8 hours and 12 minutes.
So that's probably the best week I've had in years.
Okay.
You know, because I haven't traveled, and I've actually If you look back a couple of, normally it's 5-6 hours.
5 or 6?
Yeah, that's terrible. Good. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Yeah.
And by the way, when I get 5 or 6, my skips are 5x.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But when I get 8 or 9, even before the cold water, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Direct correlation.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Inflammation.
Yeah, but it just shows you the importance of sleep. You know, so I wake up, I literally look at and I'm ready to hit the gym, and I'm like, I look at my thing and it goes, you know, you're 72%, and I realize, okay, it's 5 a.m. for example, I can sleep another hour, I'll sleep another hour, you know, and I'll push myself, and I want to get kind of high scores for my sleep, really, but it just, you change the way you feel, you know, totally change the way you feel during the day. You're so energized.
What gets measured gets managed.
I love measuring. I have to measure. That's the way I am, you know. Some people tell me it drives them crazy, and they get too obsessed. I'm not obsessed, but I like to measure so I can improve. And that's going back to Toyota, you know, you create standards and just improve. Great standards to improve.
Yeah, the 1%.
Yeah.
Was statistics your favorite class?
No, it was my worst. It was actually my worst.
What was your favorite?
My favorite class, you know, my favorite class with high school, university, professors, I remember, I think it was never a class, it was the professor. I can tell you, I remember the professors. We had in high school once, one of the biggest, he's probably the biggest sumo wrestlers in history. His name was Kanishiki. He was Hawaiian, I believe. And he visited our school once to give a speech. And I'm just, not to digress, but this is a funny story. And then, you know, one kid asked him, what was your favorite subjects in school? He said lunch, you know. It's like nothing else, you know.
Out of the box answer.
Yeah. Have you never met sumo? Do you follow sumo at all?
No, but if I see it on TV when I'm flipping through channels in the States, I'd watch it for a little bit.
Yeah,
it's fascinating.
It's one of the don't quote me, one of the few contact sports where there's no weight class, which means you have the smallest little guy fighting like the hugest, biggest guy, you know, and it's not about, and they have to use their weight for their advantage, and it has to, you know, it's really about using your width. It's not about strength.
Do you ever get an upset when the smaller guy would push a bigger guy?
Yeah, and it doesn't push him. He kind of like pivots it, like he kind of pivots out of the way and kind of makes sure he falls out, you know.
Very timely question would be to ask you is, you know, what makes you feel most alive?
What makes me feel most alive is being with my family. Is being with my family. We have a lot of nephews and nieces now. The eldest is, you know, 25, I think, 24, 25. The youngest is 1 or less than 1, 6 months. So, you know, it's wonderful to spend time with them. I think that brings a lot of joy and a lot of happiness to me.
Marriage on the cards?
Marriage on the cards, yeah, always.
I heard it said to me, Saudi's most eligible bachelor.
Oh, really?
It's been said.
Oh, has it been said?
Someone asked me, who's your 100th? I'm like, can I trust you for not telling anyone? I said, Hassan Jameel, inshallah. They're like, oh, Saudi's most eligible bachelor.
Oh, really?
I'm like, oh, is that what he's called?
Oh, really? I've never heard that.
Okay, no, he gives off that vibe.
I've never heard that. But yeah.
But something that you would entertain if the time was right.
Of course, always. I'm very. I love family. You know, unfortunately, I was and didn't work out and moved on, and I'd love to have my own family one day. Yeah.
Before we sign off, I mean, we see Saudi today, and we know what it was like 10 years ago, with everything, and it's like every day there's something new that comes that shocks us even more. You know, under Vision 2030 and the efforts that are happening there. What's something that, or like, where do you see the country in, say, 10 years from now, at the rate we're going now? What excites you the most about, if you were to look into the future, and this is something you'd like to see 10 years from now?
Yeah. Look, I don't have to explain to you, you know, what's happening in Saudi Arabia. You see it, you feel it. You know, I think, you know, there isn't a country that's more exciting than what's happening in Saudi Arabia today. The amount of interest, the amount of people that you get to Saudi Arabia is just, I've never seen it before. You know, there's just so much opportunity. I truly believe what His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince MBS, is doing is truly a once-in-a-lifetime event, you know, and he's totally transforming this sleeping elephant called Saudi Arabia, and it's waking up, and it's causing these ripples, you know, and everyone's feeling it, you know, everyone all the way from Japan all the way to the US, they're feeling these ripples, you know, of these big steps starting to kind of wake up, you know.
Great analogy.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And if anything, I wish I was, you know, 20 years younger to be a part of this, you know, because, you know, when you and I grew up in Saudi Arabia, it was a different Saudi Arabia, but today you know, there's, you know, social, economic, cultural, you know, new sectors being built, you know, just it couldn't have been more well thought through. You know, for us as business people, you know, of course it's good, but for me as a Saudi, it's you wake up proud. You know, you wake up proud in this country that you're seeing what they're doing is they're doing change for good, you know. And, you know, there are always, you know, pessimists. There are always people who are, you know, naysayers who are say, yeah, but how can you, but how, this is impossible, that's impossible. I remember very clearly, vividly, you know, 30 years ago when Dubai was being built. Everybody was saying, no way, what are they doing? Who's going to come here? Why are they going to come here? What's the point, you know? Look, they built a Dubai Inc. They built a brand, you know. We're hungry, we're educated. You know, you've had some phenomenal people on your show, and people see that. And I think, you know, if that's not going to change a nation, you know, nothing will. You know, I think that's going to be super, super exciting. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this positive movement and positive movement for change.
Yeah, absolutely. The word alignment comes to mind.
Yeah.
So many different moving parts working in unison.
Yeah.
For one common goal.
Yeah.
Vision 2030.
Yeah. And I think we all understand that. You know, I mean, you understand that. If I speak to friends of mine in Riyadh, if I speak to friends, we all feel we're a part of that agenda, whether you're in the private sector or whether you're in the public sector, you know, government or a private company. You feel you're all moving in that direction. I mean, it's a national strategy that every single person knows. You know, how many times, I mean, you have a family, how many times have you tried to make a strategy for the summer where you can barely, you know, agree on something? Here, this is a national strategy. Everybody's saying, we let's do it and let's come together,
yeah.
You know.
And they're hungry for it. They want to make it happen.
They're hungry.
Yeah.
You know, my friends from Europe visit FII, they come and tell me, you feel the energy. We don't get this in the West, not to mention any country, but they say we you know, when we go to conferences, we don't feel this hunger, this energy that you guys have here. It's this youth that is just, they want to be unleashed, you know.
Comes back to the sleeping elephant analogy, that all of a sudden it's awake today.
Yeah.
And they want to go for it and make up for any lost time, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. And it's time, you know. We couldn't be more proud. You know, I couldn't be more proud, and I genuinely say that with all my heart.
Yeah. Well, actually, it leads me to another question. You have a deep network of friends from the international world. I'm sure today they are reaching out to you, messaging you, emailing you at a far higher rate than they ever did before.
Oh yeah. There's
just out of interest, not like oh, get me involved here. No, just out of interest.
I want to come. Yeah. I want to come and visit Saudi Arabia. I literally had to tell them, I'm too busy in November. How about December? I'm too busy. Let's move it to next year. I want to go to Al-Ula. I want to go to Red Sea. I want to go. Can you take me? I say I can't. I'm already committed. I can't. You know. But there are so many people. That you know, from Japan, from the US, from Europe, you know, who want to come and see what's happening, you know.
And the summer football transfers only, I think, added to the number of people.
Yeah.
That was something.
Yeah, that was
what happened.
Yeah. What I love about what's happening, you know, they're not thinking about 5-year horizon. They're thinking about 20, 30-year horizon. You know, I think today, to change a country, thinking 5 years is too short term. Thinking 8 years or 10 years is too. They're thinking, let's talk about 30. Yeah. How can we build 30 years? You know, and it's that consistency, that patience, that perseverance. Going back to what leadership is to me, and that humility that will get you there. I think, you know.
Thanks, Hassan. I think that's pretty much it for my notes. Kept you here for maybe a little longer than I should have.
No, it felt It felt very easy.
I enjoyed
smooth,
this.
Yeah,
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the story.
Me too. Allah, it was my first.
That's crazy.
Podcast.
That's unbelievable.
My first podcast.
Don't let it be the last.
Wallahi, I'm proud that it's with you and it's with somebody in Saudi and somebody Saudi. You know, I think it was saved. I saved it for like a special moment. You know, and wallahi, Mo, I'm very proud. You know, to see people like you come. You know, because this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for all this change. You know, this excites me. You know, I get excited when I see young Saudi entrepreneurs. I get excited when I go to one of our, an art show, and I see young Saudis, girls and guys looking at art and saying, what's this, what's that? And that's curiosity, and that's creating or promoting innovation and curiosity for the young generation, I'm not saying that you're super young. How old are you, by the way?
40 last week.
40, Mabruk.
Allah barik fi.
Okay.
I didn't want that to come up in the episode, but
okay, you can edit it. You can edit it.
I'm all about realism, and if I feel like I made a mistake in this episode, I'm going to call myself out on. And I did make a mistake in not asking you about the efforts that you guys do with Islamic art. Don't you have a wing at the Victoria and Albert?
Yeah, we do.
Do you mind if you just touch on the efforts that are?
Of course. Now, you caught me off guard, so I can't remember the dates exactly. But the Victoria Albert Museum in London, my father visited it once in the Islamic Gallery. And you know the expression or the saying that the art is just as beautiful as its frame, I think it's something along those lines. If it's an ugly frame, if it's a beautiful frame, it really brings out the art. So there's a lot of artifacts and Islamic, pieces at the V&A, but it was really displayed in a very, poor fashion, let's say. So, my father contacted somebody, or somebody contacted him, and he said, what can we do? And we renovated the whole gallery, the whole Islamic section of the V&A, and it was named after my grandfather, so it was in honor of him, so it's called the Jameel Gallery, the Jameel Islamic.
There today, still there.
It's still there. It will always
on Old
be
Broughton Road in London.
Yeah, it's there. It will be there for a while. That's it. It's called the Jameel Gallery there. We do other things. I don't know if you know Bocelli.
Of course.
Yeah. So my father and Bocelli are very close. They're good friends. And we started a scholarship. I think one day he told them, we're not getting enough sopranos, not sopranos, what do you call them? Tenors or sopranos, or one day Bocelli told him, we're not getting, or it's expensive for people to get into my industry. And then my father said, why don't we do a scholarship program for young opera singers? And we started a program with him called the Jameel Bocelli Scholarship for young opera singers, and they go through the program in London. And one of the parts of the program, they also sing with Bocelli. And the first or the second was an Egyptian girl, and there was a German girl.
Thanks, Hassan. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Amazing.
I never thought I was going to do this, but thank you for being my 100. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I love it. Allah. Thank you so much. Thank you.